Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to stay updated with all our latest content. Join us and never miss out on the excitement. Earl Haraldson and Siggy bless babies. Ragnar and Athelstan head down the river. Athelstan asks Ragnar if he's still a slave. Ragnar says, does it make a difference? Athelstan says that he'd like to be a free man. Athelstan asks Ragnar what he's preparing for. Athelstan says that he's watched him and that he's about to do something. Ragnar says that he isn't strong enough, and Athelstan asks what the gods say. This upsets Ragnar, who tells Athelstan to finish cleaning the fish in silence. Earl Haraldson gathers his men. Ragnar goes hunting. While he's away, his village gets attacked by Earl Haraldson. Lagertha gives Athelstan a weapon and tells them to stay strong while they wait for Ragnar to return. Ragnar makes it to his house, but he gets shot in the process. He makes his family go beneath the house so that they can get to the boat. Ragnar surrenders, giving his family time to escape. Ragnar manages to escape, but they give chase. He leads them to a cliff where he jumps off. He lands in the water, but Athelstan has to jump in and grab him. Earl Haraldson asks if he's dead, and they tell him that they don't know. The Earl tells them to seize his boat, and if they find his family, to bring them to him. Ragnar and his family sail to Floki's home. There they seek his help because Ragnar is dying. Earl Haraldson sets his daughter up with Earl Bjarni, and this upsets Siggy. Lagertha, her children, and Athelstan all say prayers to their gods to help heal Ragnar. Earl Haraldson tells Siggy that this marriage will bring them land and important alliances. Haraldson tells Siggy about the shallow grave that the killers dug for his sons, how they cut their heads off and put their faces against their asses as a sign of disrespect. He hands her locks of hair from their heads that he took. Ragnar gets a visit from Thorstein, who tells them that they are also being watched. Later, at night, Thorstein asks him what Ragnar is going to do. Ragnar says he can't do anything until he's healed. His friend also tells him that the boat has been confiscated and that it's now going to be Thyri's dowry for her upcoming marriage. Rollo attends Thyri's wedding. Earl Haraldson tells Rollo that that could have been him dancing with his daughter. Rollo says he wasn't fated to marry her. The Earl asks why he's here, and Rollo says that they should talk. Rollo tells him that Ragnar is dead. He tells him that he wants to be a part of the raiding and no longer on the outside. The Earl tells him that he can live with him and work on his boats, and then they shall see. Rollo agrees. Floki tells them about Valhalla and the gods. He asks Athelstan how he thinks the world was made. Athelstan doesn't say anything. Rollo gets a visit from Siggy. She tells him that he should leave because her husband hates him. He's walking through the village when he gets clubbed. He's taken to Earl Haraldson's house where he is chained to the table. The Earl asks him where Ragnar is, but Rollo says that he is dead. The Earl says that he'll help him tell the truth and takes a knife and starts cutting through his cheek. Thorstein returns to Floki's to tell them about how Siggy visited him and told him about the trick the Earl played on Rollo. How the Earl tortured Rollo. Thorstein tells him that the Earl is going to kill Rollo, and Floki tells Ragnar that it's a trap. Ragnar asks Floki to go to Kattegat and demand a one-on-one combat from the Earl. That if the Earl refuses, then shame will stalk him for the rest of his life, and he'll never be welcomed into Valhalla. Ragnar, weak and still recovering from his wounds, must meet the Earl head-on after it comes to light that Rollo has been tortured on Haraldsson's orders. The two men will come together face-to-face with a single outcome possible. Only one man will leave this fight alive. Floki is brought before Earl Haraldsson. He tells the Earl that Ragnar challenges him to one-on-one combat. The Earl accepts his challenge. Lagertha tells Ragnar that he's too weak to fight. Ragnar says that maybe this will make them equals. Siggy tells the Earl that he needs to come to bed and sleep. The Earl tells her that he has the utmost respect for Ragnar because he was what the Earl used to be. Siggy asks why he didn't support him when he asked to West. The Earl says that because if he had, his supporters would have left him and gone to Ragnar instead. Siggy makes him promise that he'll win tomorrow, and he says yes. The Earl prays for the gods' favor. Siggy gives him a necklace with their son's hair attached. Ragnar arrives in Kattegat for the personal combat. The Earl and Ragnar fight. Ragnar wins. He offers mercy by cutting the Earl's wrist so that he may go to Valhalla. Svein tells the crowd to kill Ragnar, but Rollo grabs an axe and kills him. Siggy stabs Bjarni, freeing her daughter from him. She approaches Ragnar and tells the crowd to yell his name because he's now Earl. They head to the hall where people come before Ragnar and swear their loyalty. Rollo swears his loyalty, but when Ragnar hugs him, Rollo asks him how they'll ever be equal now. Athelstan asks Ragnar why he's giving the Earl such a funeral. Ragnar says because he was a good man and he deserves one. Ragnar shows Athelstan one of the servants that has agreed to die so that she can serve the Earl in the afterlife. The servant is taken to the boat. Her throat is slit and she is put on the boat beside Earl Haraldson. Athelstan is forced to watch her die by Bjorn. Ragnar arrives to the pier where Siggy asks permission to light the pyre. Ragnar gives the torch to another man who goes and sets the boat on fire. They push the boat out into the water. Lydrotha tells Ragnar that she's pregnant again. Ragnar says that she's made him a happy man. Siggy and Thyri are trying to pack up when Rollo appears. Siggy thinks he's here to kill them, but Rollo says no. Siggy says that the people are going to make them leave Kattegat, but Rollo says not if he vouches for them. Siggy asks what he wants in return, and he says that he wants her to marry him. Bjorn tells Ragnar that he wants to go to England with him. Ragnar says no and tells him not to be so impatient to put himself in danger. Athelstan asks what Ragnarök is. The seer comes and tells them about Ragnarok and how it's the end of the world. Ragnar and his men go raiding. King Egil learns that Ragnar didn't land in Northumbria, but is continuing up the coast. He kills Lord Wygia for losing to Ragnar. See you in the next video.
Ragnar. King Ring. That's his moment. Who wants to begin?